before you achieve it, you have to feel it. How do you think ego plays in a relationship, in business, anything?
I think that it blinds you. My book is called Chasing Success in High Heels. And the book is about my journey, and it is not describing my journey, it is about the lessons that I learned along my journey.
Healthcare,
Mhm.
technology, leadership, and innovation. How do you balance these worlds without burning out?
Without burning out is a tough question.
Okay.
Because you do get burnt out.
It's so easy nowadays to succeed. It's so easy because there's so many distractions out there.
Yeah.
People are so distracted.
Mhm.
All you have to do is just stay focused. All right, here we are again. Welcome back to yet another podcast with Ed pransh-u-nfiltered. Today's guest is very special. She defines success. She's very career oriented. But at the same time, she's just like the normal woman out there. She's got two beautiful kids and she's got a loving husband. And if I count on my fingertips the amount of things that she's possessed and she's achieved in her life, I think we'll be here all day. The biggest thing that she has done recently is she has a book that she's released. It's called Chasing Success in High Heels. Honestly speaking, I don't even know how she has the time to do that. Then she is an eye doctor. I don't know how to say that word, but I'm just gonna say eye doctor. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about her mindset, what makes her who she is today. We'll learn where she came from, what is her background, and what we see on the front. What she does to make sure that front is always shiny. Let's dive right into it. Miral, welcome to the show. How's everything?
Very good. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
Not a problem. The pleasure is all mine. And you know, we've talked about this off air. Um, Anytime we meet, it's mostly, hey, how's it going? And just the normal kemcho, majama, Gujarati stuff. But I'm glad we had a chance to sit down today.
Yeah, I'm looking
And
forward to our conversation.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Um, you know, I've I'm usually like you've seen me on the stages and stuff. I'm not usually the one who gets nervous or anything. But
Okay.
today I'm a bit nervous. So you have that effect on people. Do you realize that?
I didn't know that, but I know it now.
You know it now.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. What do you think? Because I know you're a very introverted person,
Hmm.
right? So what do you think communication is? It all? It's obviously not everything verbal, but there's something that you're doing which is non-verbal that's making the other person perceive you the way you are.
There could be many things. I mean, like when we learn about communication, the nonverbal cues are about body language and everything. I don't think that that is what is making you nervous.
Okay.
Because I believe that I don't. Um, I'm not intimidating as such,
Okay.
but I feel that it's also authenticity.
Mm.
When you're authentic and when you are yourself, sometimes it can make people nervous.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Right on. I want to dive right into it. So, who is Dr. Miral Mehta? Who is she? How do you define if you were to define or briefly introduce yourself, just like a little summary or whatever you want to call it.
I would say that I'm a physician. I am an entrepreneur. I love to learn constantly. I focus on growth, and I'm extremely ambitious. And I think that I have a lot of things to achieve in life, and I have a lot of things to do, and I'm constantly working on it.
Great, great, great. Where does this mindset come from? I wanna know about your upbringing side of things. So like you're born and raised in Mumbai, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, you're born and raised in Mumbai.
Hmm.
And tell us about that, like your family, like all
Yeah.
that.
So I grew up in the 80s, and I come from a very, very traditional Gujarati family, but I was raised in a very non conservative way. I'm the first child in my generation, in my family. And I think right from the beginning, education was the most important thing. That was something that I knew right from the time that I was young that I want to do business or I want to be a physician. I already knew it right from the beginning, and I was encouraged to pursue that all my life. So I think that um, the drive, the ambition, the need to learn, the need to grow, all of that, I think I pretty much inherited from my family.
Okay.
Mhm.
What does your what does your dad do?
So I'll give you a quick background about my family. So my grandfather, he moved from Gujarat. He used to be a farmer. He's we are Patel. So my grandfather used to be like the
Oh, you're a Patel.
lead.
You're a
Yes.
fellow Patel. I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
learned today.
So he used to be the leader of the of the village, and then a farmer. And then one fine day, he decides to move to Mumbai, and with his four kids and four brothers, and he brought everybody to Bombay, and he owned tabelo, okay? Like
Tabelu, yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
Like
owned a barn, like we had
yeah,
when
of
he had
course.
about
I see.
100
Yeah.
cows and buffaloes. And my dad, when he was young and he used to go to school, my dad used to deliver milk
Okay.
to houses, and
That
then
was that was in the village.
that was in Bombay.
That was in Bombay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
got it.
once he moved to Mumbai, like he used to go to school, and before going to school at 5 a.m. in the morning, he would get up, he would deliver milk, then he would go to school, come back, and then do more work. So he used to do all of that.
Okay.
He was the oldest child in the family as well, and um, when he grew up, he was the first one to get education.
Hmm.
He became an engineer. Of course, did not pursue that, Patel, and education. You just do business. So my dad did
Of
multiple
course. Of
businesses.
course.
He used to work on the construction side. He used to be in diamond export and import businesses, and I used to see him travel all over the world for those businesses. And he's an investor also in real estate and other areas in India. And I think I grew up seeing him and helping him with everything. I think I was kind of like his personal assistant. I was daddy's girl, so I
Of
always
course.
was his personal assistant. So I started learning about things way early, and
Okay.
including like even driving. I started driving early because I had to go drop him or pick him up from somewhere. So I started driving early. He started teaching me about finances and business early on. So I think it was like just the seeds that he planted at that time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think you captured something that he used to travel a lot and he traveled the
Hmm.
world. Do you think even though he came from a very traditional conservative family,
Hmm.
because he traveled, it
Hmm.
opened his horizons?
I'm pretty sure. I think
Yeah.
that definitely helps.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially like, what I've noticed something that anybody who lives by the coastal,
Hmm.
any cities by the coastal areas,
Hmm.
their mind is usually more expanded,
Hmm.
and they don't just think about the traditional norms.
Hmm.
They want to think about the bigger and better things in life.
Hmm.
So if you, for example, if you take Mumbai, for example, and if you go inside Maharashtra, I don't know,
Hmm.
somewhere like is Nagpur like a bit inside or whatever?
Aurangabad is inside, and I've lived in Aurangabad for 3 years,
Yeah. And
so
do
I
you
know
see the
the
difference?
big difference.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense, right? Because I mean,
Yes.
there's constantly the ships are coming through, there's more
Hmm.
people coming through. So,
Hmm.
like the horizons are widening. Okay. So, and your mom, she was a housewife?
Yes, my mom has always been a homemaker, and but she is also a very non-traditional person, I would say, because I think that when she married my dad, she comes from a family of teachers, like her
Okay.
sisters and her parents, everybody were teachers.
Okay.
So she came from a family um, of teachers into this Patel family,
Mm.
and she molded a lot of rules in the family too, in the sense that when she got married, there was still the tradition of covering your head with your sari.
Mhm.
um, but I think I saw that transition, from that to wearing salwar kameez, from that to wearing jeans, from that to wearing shorts, to everything.
Yeah.
So I think she changed a lot of things in the family too. And I
Right.
think there is a lot of influence that she has on me in terms of being bold about
Mm.
what you want to do, and doing that without hesitation.
Right.
Yeah.
right? But I think that your mom doing that, I mean, she could only do it after such a after a period, because I'm sure she's had a mother-in-law.
Yes.
So if did she have to kind of go through the norms or whatever until she was kind of the woman of the house, so to speak, and then she's like, you know what, whatever I've been through, I want to make sure my kids don't go through that, or especially my daughter.
No, not really. I would say that my grandparents are extremely open minded.
Okay.
And I think that, um, in fact, just to give an example, like when I decided that I want to marry Shaunak, um, I spoke to my dad first.
Hmm.
And my dad spoke to my grandfather that, okay, this is a situation, like, and the only thing that my grandfather said, and I think this is important, the background is important because uh, till then, my parents or my grandparents were the ones to decide about who you're going to
Of
marry for,
course.
not just for our family, but for the rest of the family, the cousins and everyone.
Right.
So when it came to me, and when I said that, my grandfather's response immediately was like, she will do what she wants to do, and we don't decide what she wants to do. So
Wow.
that was it. Like there was no back and forth. My grandfather, I think, he's a pioneer, and I was extremely close. My grandfather is no more, but I
Of
was
course.
extremely close to him, and likewise, I'm very close to my dad.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's very beautiful. I think given in our society, and just in general, I think you have two major decisions of your life that
Mhm.
defines it.
Mhm.
That defines your life, where it's going.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna be a successful person or you're gonna be a nobody in the game. One is your career.
Mhm.
What are you gonna be doing for the rest of your life?
Mhm.
The second, and the very, very important, is a partner you choose. Right?
Absolutely.
And I feel like the 80s that you were born, the era that you were born, getting that, I feel like you were very blessed. And I'm
Yes,
sure you know that.
I know
Because a
that.
lot of people, they didn't get those two choices, the basic choices.
Yeah.
Because the mold is you either become an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
a lawyer, a
Mm-hmm.
doctor,
Mm-hmm.
or you get the hell out. That's it.
That's true.
Right. And then once you become whatever, and then, your parents would just sit down and just kind of arrange you with whoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very important. And how do you think that has, like, that confidence building from, like, from your parents or from
Mm-hmm.
your grandparents, how did that shape you to focus on more and bigger things in life?
I think it is so important to know that you are here with a purpose.
Mm.
And I think right from the beginning, there were a couple of things that I was taught. One is that you have to keep growing. You can never stop growing, whether it is in terms of career, personal growth, or anything else. And the second, in terms of business, what I learned is that the money is going to flow. You don't work for money, you work for your growth. Money is a byproduct. And if you look at it that way, it is going to always come to you. So I think those two were very important things that I learned. And lastly, I think what you said about the partner, I think that is so important to choose the right partner.
Yep.
And I definitely feel very blessed that I was able to choose my own partner,
Right.
and that I made the right choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's a lot of times, and very nicely said, money is a byproduct, and that's the
Hmm.
way I see things as well.
Hmm.
But a lot of times what happens is the first instinct is survival,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
When you Until you get to that survival, you have
Yes.
enough money to survive and make sure
Yes.
your family's okay.
Hmm.
I think after that point on, you have that confidence to be like, you know what, I think money is just a byproduct. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what my
Yeah.
thinking is.
Yeah.
Because when we moved to Canada, we had God had given us a lot in India, but
Hmm.
whatever reasons we moved here, and I've seen my parents go through what they went through,
Of
and
course.
because the first thing was that they were very sure that they're not gonna get any money back from India to here.
Hmm.
So the first generation, I feel like they're always about sacrificing,
Yes.
the struggles. They want to make sure that they have a good foundation laid out for the
Hmm.
next generation to go out and explore themselves,
Yeah.
right? And I think you and Shaunak Bhai, you guys really define that, being the first generation here
Hmm.
and building what you guys have built in such short time is
Hmm.
commendable.
Thank you. I think I would like to add one more point to that.
Sure.
So when you say that, like, that survival,
Yeah.
we did go through that phase as well.
Of
Like,
course.
when we moved here in 2012, we left our very good, flourishing careers in Bombay, and we moved here. And when we moved here, we realized that. there's really no job for us because as a lawyer and a doctor, we both have to study again. And the process took a very long time. And uh, we were living a life at that time that we had never lived before, where, and then again, when we came here, we were expecting our baby as well. So
Okay.
my daughter was born within 3 months of us moving here. And we were living in a small condo. And so we were living in that condo for 7 years. And I think that, yes, we miss the lifestyle that we had back in Mumbai? Yes, we did. But at the same time, we both knew that this is just going to be a phase of life.
Right.
And we did not want to give into that survival instinct at that time. We wanted to make sure that we keep that abundance mindset and keep working towards that. Of course, there were so many opportunities that came our way, like, certain jobs that we can take up, and that would have sufficed to give us an income at that point in time. But then that would have deviated us from where we need to get. And at the same time, we were both worried that if we start getting an income, we will get comfortable. And if you get comfortable, you're not going to grow anymore.
Right.
So we used that phase as a fuel to grow rather than looking at it as survival. We knew it is not going to be permanent. We knew it was temporary, but
Right.
we have to go through it to be able to get somewhere where we need to get to.
Right. Right. So at that point, you guys were both like studying at the same time, or were you guys like
Yeah, so
staggering it?
we were staggering our studying because, like, I had exams one month, next month he would give exam, next month I would, so that we can get through that while taking care of my daughter as well.
Right.
So
Right.
we did that, and I started working at the clinic of another ophthalmologist for a while he was doing an articling at another lawyer's office. So we made through with minimum at that time. But now, when we look back, I think it was still a beautiful phase of our life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was challenging, but we made the most out of it.
Yeah. Would you say that was the lowest? You guys, that was the lowest phase of your life? Would you say?
We don't look at it as the lowest phase of our life. I
Okay.
would say that it was the beginning of
Okay.
something big, and that is how we looked at it.
Okay. So you don't look at something goes south or whatever. You don't look at it that way.
I mean, of course, our normal tendency at times is to look at it like, oh my God, this is what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
this is this is as bad as it can get.
Mm.
But sometimes it's also that, okay, what else can happen? I mean, this is this bad.
Yeah.
How bad can it get?
Right. Right.
And so I think just taking that step back, and yes, you scream first, and you like, oh, you cry, you make that kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
acknowledgement that, okay, this is happening, and then you realize, okay, how bad can it get? Let's see now how to get out of it.
Right. So in that phase, did you guys make some friends and families here around?
I think we were very lucky. We've always been very lucky to meet good people along
Okay.
our journey, and I think people who support you, people who encourage you. I think we have had a lot of those people in our lives, and I
Good.
think that is very important to have
Hmm.
yourself surrounded by good, positive people.
Hmm.
And I think that is definitely one of the things that I would say that kept our energies up.
Yeah. So the reason why I ask is because when you first moved to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously when you first moved to Canada, you're gonna be big friends with the guys who were recently moved as well, and they're going through that hustle. Well, not the hustle, I wouldn't say, but that struggling phase where they're
Yes.
just picking up whatever jobs they could get
Yes.
to pay the bills and
Of
whatnot.
course.
And hanging out with people like that, and you and Shaunak Bhai are studying
Mm-hmm.
and not working and have a bigger mindset,
Mm-hmm.
just gelling together. And sometimes you have a lot of outside noise as well,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So in how do you deal with that outside? I'm sure you had
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
because आपड़ा कहवाई से ना कि, like, you don't have to go find enemies. There's plenty around, that you have to. So yeah, just about that, like how.
I would just say pick the positives from any interaction that you have. Like, if there, of course, there will be things that you come across that may dampen your spirits.
Mhm.
Just move on and, like, focus on, have your focus on where you need to get to. I think that is what we always tell each other.
Right.
Sometimes I would drift and he would remind me. Sometimes he would drift and I would remind him. I think that mutual understanding that, okay, this is what where we need to get to, and we will go through different things. We will go through different situations in life, and we will help each other out of it.
Mm,
I think that is what.
yeah, because I think the way I see it, and I think you're kind of on the same page on that one, is if you have a spouse
Mm-hmm,
and you have a problem, for
mm-hmm,
example,
mm-hmm,
fighting against each other
mm-hmm.
shouldn't be the answer to it. I think it's you and your partner versus that problem. If you use that tactic,
Yeah,
I think life is beautiful,
absolutely. Very well said.
right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of times what we do is we ego gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when he's like you just recently said that if sometimes if like Shauna would drift off, then you bring him back on the
Mm-hmm.
rail or whatever the case may be. But sometimes it's like why should I listen to you? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm this and that and blah blah blah. And then
Mm-hmm.
same goes for you as well, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think ego plays in a relationship, in business, anything?
I think that it blinds you. Whenever you're looking at anything from the egotistical point of view, I think you are only going to see a very, very short term. And you are going to make decisions that eventually you will regret. So I think
Mm,
it is so important to keep that out of the way. And in a very close relationship, like a husband and wife, like, I mean, it's just something that it's so important that you guys are best friends so
yeah.
that you can really help each other in every possible way. Like, I think one of the rules that we both have amongst us is that um, we never we never praise each other. We will usually make sure that we will tell each other what was wrong, or where we need to work on, where we need to improve. If there are three occasions back to back where I hear something positive, I'm like, okay, what's wrong with you? Like, just tell me what I need to do better.
So constructive feedback,
Constructive feedback.
right?
Yeah. Because
But I
no one
mean,
else is going to give you that.
but at the same time, you're still a woman. Wouldn't a
Yeah.
woman want flattery once in a while?
Well,
Let's
I
be
hope he
honest here.
remembers that. I hope he remembers that. But I think only when it's genuine, it definitely is
Right,
good. But as I said, like, for me, growth is very important.
right,
Even when somebody gives me positive feedback, yes, I take it with a pinch of salt, and I always make sure that I do things better next time.
right. There's always room for
There's
better.
always room for
Yeah,
improvement.
because
Yes.
I was reading it. I think I was watching a documentary on Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm,
Michael Jordan says he has a different definition of ego. He says ego is very important.
mm-hmm,
If you don't have the ego, you will not have the drive. I mean,
mm-hmm,
obviously, different people, different
mm-hmm,
whatever. But for someone who's achieved so much in his life,
mm-hmm,
what he says is, if you have the ego that I'm the best in the world
mm-hmm,
and I'm the best basketball player in the world,
mm-hmm,
I think there's very little room for anybody to come in
mm-hmm.
into your space
Yeah.
and bother you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm that person yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I think having that, I was just kind of reading somewhere too that you have to before you achieve it,
Mm-hmm.
you have to feel it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what that's kind of what Michael Jordan is drawing that
Yeah.
inspiration from, right? Wouldn't you say that?
I think I do agree with what he's saying. Just a different way of saying
Yeah,
it, I would believe.
yeah.
I think he's calling it ego, but I would say I would call it self belief.
Hmm.
If you have that belief in yourself that um, if I do this, I will do it in the best possible way, and I'm the best at it. You are
Mm.
going to be able to do it. So yes, to have that self belief is very important, and I think he's just calling it ego. That's what my interpretation is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I want to talk about your book.
Hmm.
It's on Amazon. It's everywhere. You want to
Yes.
talk about a little bit about that? Where did you draw the inspiration to write a book?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you want to just show that on the
So
camera?
yes, my book is called "Chasing Success in High Heels," and the book is about my journey, and it is not describing my journey. It is about the lessons that learned along my journey. Um, and the reason to write this book was mainly because I felt that in the last 12 years that I've been here in Canada, I have faced challenges that I never thought I would have. Um, because again, like in Mumbai, it's my home, it's a protected environment. There will be certain challenges, but there will be people around you also who will help you navigate that.
Right.
Coming here, the challenges were new, the support was minimal. um, it was just me and my husband for each other, and that's all. And sometimes we had to help each other, but sometimes we had to only focus on our own problems. And I think that in doing so, um, I have, I would say, I've grown in ways that I did not know I could grow. So this book is about that, and I think as a woman, to come to a new country, start from zero, and to build big, ambitious, bold dreams. I felt that it is very important to put this out in the world so as to inspire other women. Very importantly, I want to inspire my daughter. And I've written this book so that she doesn't have to learn these lessons by herself. She can learn it from my experiences.
Okay.
And maybe other women can also learn from my experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you always thought you were going to be writing a book one day?
Since I was young, I always wanted to write
Really?
something, but
Okay.
I did not ever think that I would write a book like this. I thought I would like write fiction,
Fiction. Okay.
or I would write a book about spirituality, but never thought that I would write a book about business and leadership.
Okay.
And it just happened.
It just happened.
Hmm.
So like the reason why I asked that because when you're writing a book like this and this is all the life lessons that you picked up along the way,
Hmm.
if you knew you were going to be writing a book, then at some point in time, like as you go, you're writing these lessons down, or
Hmm.
are they just described in your heart, or are they just stamped in your heart somewhere, and then you just kind of go and open that folder and take it out? What's a process like?
So actually, when I thought of writing this book, I started with the title, and started with the topics what I want to write about, and that was it. I could not write anything after that for 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
I felt like I don't think I have enough to write about,
Right.
and I felt that again, the imposter syndrome. I think everybody, especially women, get that imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to write this book? Why do I need to bring this out in the world? Why do people want to read my book? And what is so good about the lessons that I have learned? Like, it's not a big deal. Like, you always feel that way.
Mhm.
So I wrote that much, put it away for a few months, and after a while, I think Shauna kept nudging me, like, you need to write your book, you need to complete it, and he didn't know that haven't even really started it.
Yeah.
So, so I got down to writing it, and uh, I'm this person. I always need to keep doing something. And whenever I would sit to write, I would be like, oh my God, I'm sitting here and thinking, but I have to do this and I have to do that. And I have to work out and I have to go to office. I have to do this with the kids. So I got into this habit of multitasking right from the beginning. So when I started to write again, I realized that I should do something along with writing. So I got myself a walking pad. I put it by my window so I feel like I'm outside also and I'm doing exercise also. I put my laptop there, and while writing, I was walking.
Okay.
So I did not mind spending 2 or 3 or 4 hours doing that.
Okay.
And actually, I finished this in record time because I finished it in about 3 to 4 months, I would say.
Wow.
Uh, I, every day at the end of the day, or even on weekends, I would just write. And
Okay.
once I started writing, I think it just started flowing.
Mhm.
The process was not about how those stories are coming back. I think what happened was that while writing, it was like reliving every moment of last 12 years all over again.
Mm.
And that was uh, very humbling because I don't give myself too much credit.
Mhm.
I always feel like, I mean, what's the big deal? I have not really achieved much yet from what all I want to do. I feel like I have only done a very small part of it still. I still have a very long way to go. But while writing that book, I think I just felt like I could relive my journey, and I was able to see really how much I have achieved. So it was the first time in my life that I have been able to see myself as a third person, like, like, okay, I have done something. It's not that
Yeah.
I've not done anything,
Yeah.
like.
At what moment did you think that? Because I mean, there's always that moment, right, that you
Hmm.
think that, okay, well, I think I should write a book that could
Hmm.
really empower others. What was that moment? Because I know you kind of
Yeah,
like right now you're talking about it,
yeah,
like you wanted to write a book at one point or whatever. But
yeah.
like, what was that one point that you're like, you know what? I think I should just like step back and I think I should reflect what
Hmm.
I've achieved so far.
I think that happened because, like, as the kids grow, and my daughter is now 13, and
Beautiful.
a year or two ago, like, when we started discussing different things, and, like, she's already starting to speak about what she wants to do, and she has many different goals, and she has big ambitions. And I think that is when I realized that I think it's time to write a book, so that she can overcome the hurdles, or she can be prepared for the hurdles
Mhm.
right from the beginning.
Right. But wouldn't you think? I mean, this is just my opinion, but
Mhm.
wouldn't you want her to go through her journey
Yes.
and learn on her own that what she also wants to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I think each person has to go through their journey and learn it.
Yeah.
This is just a small attempt to see if she can avoid the same mistakes that I
Right.
made,
Right.
or if she can learn things that I learned in my 40s, if she can learn it at this age,
Right.
it is better. And
Right.
that is the only reason to write it. But of course, I would want her to make her own mistakes. I would want her to grow
Right.
on her own journey. I don't want to interfere with that. I
Yeah.
want her um, to walk, run, stumble, fall, get
Mm.
up again, and run again. I
Yeah.
want her to do all of that.
Yeah. The reason why I say that is because I'm kind of the same way as you. Like I started my businesses when I was in my 30s,
Hmm.
like just early 30s, and I have a cousin
Hmm.
who was in his early 20s, and I told him, I said, you know what, if you don't want to study, that's fine. Just get over the diploma or whatever the heck you want to. You have to do. You know what I mean? Just a fallback
Yeah.
if nothing works out, right? But then I said, you know what? You will get a 10-year head start, I should say. But the part of the problem in that case is when you give a bit too much on a plate,
Hmm.
all set up,
Yeah.
then they don't value it,
Yes.
and then they're like, oh yeah, don't bore me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like, and that's.
Yes.
But I mean, obviously, guys and girls are
Hmm.
different. Girls
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
way more mature.
Hmm.
They're way more sincere about their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys are too, but not all the guys, because
Hmm.
guys have a lot of distractions in life. I know. I hope you know that. so, so which is why I feel like everyone's journey is different, but I get it. You want to just tell your side of the story and just make
Hmm.
an attempt that if she's gonna be making 10 mistakes, she might as well just make five.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe just avoid the other five.
Yeah. And again, like, maybe make all 10,
Yeah.
but uh, when you make those mistakes, how do you get out of that? What
Mm,
do you learn from it?
yeah.
How do you grow from it? I think it is about um, making all those mistakes and still be willing to do everything all over again.
Mm.
Um,
It's the will.
yes.
Yeah, you get down and you gotta get up again and go at
Hmm.
it again,
Yeah.
right? So what would you say is a message that you want to give to your daughter or to
Hmm.
any of the inspiring young women
Hmm.
that are reading your book, or men in that case too? What's that one message you would say that kind of summarizes your book? I mean, I know there's too much going
Yeah.
on, maybe, but
So, to summarize the book, I would say that it's all about believing in yourself to follow your dreams, and just do it. Like, don't wait for the right time, don't wait for the right opportunity, and don't think that what if. Like, there are always going to be what ifs, but just pursue your dreams, just follow your dreams.
yeah, don't talk,
Yeah,
build it,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Or do you follow Raj Shamani? He's
Yes,
a podcaster. I
yes.
think he has a book, something along those lines.
Okay.
Don't talk, build it.
Hmm.
It's very beautiful. It's a lot of times what happens is I know people have different things going on in their lives,
Hmm.
right? I mean, no one's life is identical to ours, right? But it's like it's one thing to just talk about it, have some food and sleep, and forget about the next day. But it's another thing. Okay, well, I'm talking about it right now. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go and do this. You gotta take action. right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the guys like in my age, in my like I'm obviously 90s kid, they don't have that. I'm not too sure what's stopping them. I mean, they have all the means to do it.
Hmm.
I think it's the self belief is not there, the drive isn't there, or simply they're just too goddamn lazy.
I think we do tend to get comfortable, and I
Yeah,
think uh, once you settle into a comfort zone,
yeah,
uh, it's very hard to get out of it.
yeah,
And I think a lot of people, I would say, get comfortable because bills are being paid. You have a lifestyle that you want, and and then of course, working towards your dreams is hard. It's difficult. It's going to make you get out of your comfort zone all the time. And I think the drive is what will make you get out of it. But I think most people do not like getting out of the comfort zone. I would say I wouldn't call them lazy. I would just say getting too comfortable
yeah.
with where they are at.
You know what they say, life happened,
Yeah.
and that's what they say, life happened,
Yeah.
right? Coming back to the book, what chapter got you the most emotional? I mean, that you could, when you were writing it, you were just rewinding in your brain that, oh, this happened,
Mhm.
and then you just, was there any possible, was there any point that happened?
I would say it happened in for every chapter,
Every chapter, okay,
because every chapter is one lesson.
right,
And how I came to those lessons was after several different experiences. It was not just one mistake or one thing that happened in my, or one missed opportunity or one thing that happened in my life that made me that will learn that one lesson.
Mm.
Because and we are all humans, we all go through same mistakes over and over again, or you come across same hurdles till you learn the lesson that you're supposed to learn out of it.
right,
So I think each chapter did bring back a ton of memories and a ton of experiences forward. I would say my most favorite um, chapter in this book is about trusting your instinct. And I think that that is so important to be able to remember that at all times. Because anytime there is a decision, there is always one easy decision and one difficult decision. Which one you choose, if you let the circumstance make that decision, then it's going to, sorry,
yeah, that's fine,
then it might not be the right decision. And I always believe that I don't want my circumstance to let me make any major decision of my life. So I always trust my instinct.
mhm,
And I think that brought back a lot of memories.
right. You talked about heart and the gut. You just talked about
Hmm.
the instinct, right?
Hmm.
I just vividly remember I read a book, Watson Pizza's CEO or
Yeah.
owner or whatever, Jim, I guess his name.
Hmm.
One thing that he said very beautifully, he kind of sums up everything, is there's three things: heart, mind, and gut.
Hmm.
You have to make sure, if you're a good businessman, I mean, or woman, obviously, you take the decision with the heart as to what you want to do,
Hmm.
right? If
Yeah.
it's really passionate for you,
Yeah.
if you love getting up in the morning to go
Hmm.
there,
Hmm.
take that decision from your heart. Second is your mind. You want to make sure all the money things, financial situations,
Yeah.
you take those decisions from your mind, right?
Hmm.
And the third thing is trusting the people that work for you or the work that you work with.
Yeah.
That has to come from an instinct, your
Hmm.
gut. And if you mess any of these up, then you're hooped.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you agree to that? Or do you
I
have a different
take.
or do you have a different
I would say I take every decision by instinct.
Oh, okay.
Even as a doctor, I would say that a lot of times it is my instinct that tells me more than my mind what the condition is. So I would say that I trust my gut for everything.
Okay.
Because when I've also learned that whenever I don't trust my gut, I have been wrong.
Oh, okay.
So over a period of time, I've learned to do that. Of course, I mean, um, heart and mind connections. There's one very interesting chapter that I have in that book, which is about the difference between how men and women think.
Mm,
And I think that difference, what you highlighted over there in that book, I would say, yes, men do differentiate things very, very distinctly.
mhm,
Whereas for women, I would say that um, most of the time, even even in leadership situations, even in business situations, there is always a combination of all three. And I think that is what great women leaders are made out of as well, when they know to listen to all three. Because our heart, our mind, our gut have different way of communicating with you about different scenarios. And I
Right.
think when you put the whole picture together,
Right.
I think that that's a very good decision making ability that you can get.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've it's out there that women tend to be more take decision very from an emotion side of things.
Mhm.
They're very emotionally driven. How how true is that in your case? Or no, not at
Uh,
all.
I would say I'm pretty practical.
Okay.
Um, yes, I mean, sometimes I worry that people will think that I'm not emotional at all, or I'm not um, uh, human. Like, I'm not as friendly or anything else like that. But I think that it is just that showing emotion is a very private thing to me.
Mm.
Um, those who are close to me, my friends, my family members, my employees, all of them know me as a different person as compared to what I'm outside. But at the same time, what I would say is, decision making, emotional decision making, I make sure to avoid that, because I would say that both my parents did teach me that decision making has to be more practical and not emotional.
Okay.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Uh, you're also a doctor, obviously.
Yeah.
Any myths versus fact
Mhm.
about just about your field that just want to come out and clear it out? Any myth versus
Um,
fact?
yeah, I mean, I would say the most common myth is that people feel that, oh, if I start using glasses, I've been told to use glasses, and if I start using glasses, my eyes will become weaker.
Okay.
But that is the biggest myth, I would say,
Oh, really? Okay.
because whether you need glasses or not is based on the size and shape of your eyeball. And it is not making it weak, it is just supporting it. So there's no point straining your eyes and getting yourself tired to see well.
Mhm.
So you should wear glasses if you have to. If you don't have to, that's fine.
I do have them. I'm not wearing them, so
Yeah.
I should probably do that. All
Well,
right.
that was a right myth that I broke for you
Hey,
then.
there you go.
Yeah.
So you sit at the intersection of healthcare,
Mhm.
technology, leadership, and innovation. How do you balance these worlds without burning out?
Um, Without burning out is a tough question.
Okay.
Because you do get burnt out. But I would say that I I don't overwork myself. I would say I try to be efficient with my time. I try to be. Um, like but I also give myself some me time. I take downtime. Like Fridays, I don't go to work. Yes, I do a lot of meetings with my other businesses and everything. So I do divide my time wisely,
Mhm.
in the sense that I am a doctor Monday to Thursdays, but I start early. I start work at 7. I end at 3. After that, I'm the mother, so I have to take my kids to their activities. While I'm waiting for their activities and I'm watching them, I do my other meetings, or I work on the business plan, or I work on the pitch deck, or I do whatever I do at that time, whatever I have to do. Then I come back home and I love to spend time with the family as well. And if there is anything additional that is left for that day, I do it after everybody goes to bed.
Really? Okay.
And otherwise, Friday is my day. So Friday, I will do my meetings. I will work on my other projects. I will work on generating new ideas or whatever I want to do. And I also um, take me time. I meet my friends for coffee on that day. I go out for lunches with my girls. I would just go out for a walk, or just sit at a cafe and go sit, write, or read in a cafe. So
All right.
Fridays are the days when I just prioritize myself, what I
Mhm.
want to do on that day, or I
Yeah.
go for a massage or something. So I do all of that on Fridays.
On
And
Fridays.
then Saturdays and Sundays, again, I do my meetings because I work with people in India, I work with people overseas. So according to those timelines, I will finish off my work before everybody's up, or
Okay.
after everybody goes to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we kind of briefly talked on the phone, but your wake up time every day is what, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
Yeah, but between 4:30 and 5,
Four
that's
thirty and
usually my
five.
wake up.
Okay. So then what time was your absolute go to bed time?
On weekends, it's unpredictable because it all
Okay.
depends on if you're hanging out with friends. It could
Yeah.
be like, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock sometimes.
Right.
But usually on weekdays, I'm in bed by 9:30.
Wow. Yeah.
But again, it all depends. Like, it's something that if I am too tired, I'll just go to bed at 9:30. If not, then I'll probably stay up and work till later as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would say 9:30 on weekdays is my standard.
Yeah. So what's that one habit that you think has helped you become so successful in different roles that you've involved with?
I would say keep learning. That is something that I keep doing all the time, and my kids see me doing that all the time. And I
Hmm.
think that's one value that I want to inculcate in them as well.
Right.
Like even while I am, if I'm working out, I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm listening to a course that I'm taking, or if I am just doing things around the house in the kitchen, cooking or something, I still have something playing in the background, so I'm constantly listening to that while I'm doing something. So I would say I love to learn,
Hmm.
and it is so important because the world is changing so quickly, and with all the things that I want to do, I don't want to be with old knowledge. I want to upgrade myself and learn new things all the time.
What is it that you want to do?
Uh,
Where's
there's no one
where?
such answer
Okay.
on that question because I have a lot of things to do still
A
in
lot of
my life.
things to do.
Yes.
So you have short-term goals and then one big long-term goal, or you don't have a long-term goal, you just have very
I only
small.
have long-term goals.
Okay.
And Shaunak helps me break it down into short-term goals to be able to achieve those long-term goals. um, because I am more of a long term goal person, like a visionary kind of a person. I don't understand the small steps, but I have a team around me who helps me break it down into small steps and break it down into short term goals to achieve.
So you guys have consultants or?
I do have a team of, say, like our marketing person or operational person. So we have and then uh, in different areas. And then I do have certain consultants or advisors, I would say, that I
Mhm.
reach out to, and mentors who help me understand what I will need to do in order to be able to achieve my goals.
All
So
right.
I think that is very important to have the right advisors and mentors.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you find these guys?
Uh, I think, I mean, very organically through networking events, or sometimes just somebody who knows somebody, and then you reach out to them. Hey, would you be my mentor, or like would you be my advisor? I need advice with something,
Hmm.
and I think people are always very helpful. I think it is only um, we who hesitate to ask. I
Mm.
think that if we ask, people are willing to help.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it's very important that with so many distractions and
Yes.
so much of that, it's so important that to know where you're going
Hmm.
and what your end goal is,
Yes.
because at least at that time when your mind is very clear as to this is where I'm going and
Hmm.
this is the sort of person I'm looking for, then it
Yeah.
makes it very, very easy,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Because when you have so many distractions, like
Hmm.
nowadays, I read somewhere that, not read, I watched, I think on podcast, whatever, they were discussing how it's so easy nowadays to succeed. It's
Yes.
so easy
Hmm.
because there's so many distractions out there.
Yeah.
People are so distracted.
Hmm.
All you have to do is just stay focused.
Yeah. Well, that's so true.
Wouldn't you think so?
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
If you just do your basics right
Yes.
nowadays,
Yeah.
that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of people out there who's following their basics,
That's true.
right?
That's so true. And also, like with so much help around in terms of technology,
Mm.
it makes it even more easier.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. You just need to know what to ask, and
Yes. Yeah.
and like you said, you just need to ask the
Hmm.
right people or
Hmm.
whoever, and
Hmm.
there'll be someone who's popping up for you.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
beautiful. So you're an angel investor, I'm guessing, right? Well, you invest
Yeah.
in
Hmm.
different stuff, right? So what qualities do you look for in a founder, and what makes you say yes when you invest?
Um, I would say the first thing that I, even to screen which companies I invest in, I would usually look at whether it is aligning with my purpose, with my goal. um, does it align with my values? I think that is the first thing that I do. If the company is like, even if it is a great business, but my values don't align with what they are doing, there is no way I would invest in that kind of a company. So I think that that is where my screening process begins. A founder, yes, a founder has a lot of founder CEO, like, the person who's running the company has a lot of has a big role to play in that also, because they have to have the grit and the determination and the ability to navigate this journey, and learn and grow along the way. That is one of the most important things that I would say. And of course, knowledge, skills, experience that can be learned along the way.
Learned all the
I
way.
am more about soft skills. Like, even when I interview for my employees, um, I just briefly glance through the resume. That's all. It's not the resume or their qualifications that I look into, because I know I can train them if they are the right people. So I look for the right person. So my interviews are also usually not about um, what they know. It's about who they are.
Who they are. Connections. Building connections, I guess.
Yes, I would say so.
Right. Because then that would obviously last you
Hmm.
much longer than the short term goals. Okay.
Yeah.
So what stereotype about women in leadership you wish the world would drop forever?
Uh, that is a tough question.
Okay.
Um, I think that leadership for women is reserved only up to a certain limit. I think
There's a
that
glass ceiling.
there's a glass ceiling. And I think that the whole world sees women only in a certain light. Like, if you're talking about, without naming names or without naming the gender, if I talk to you about a great leader who has done and achieved a lot, you would usually only imagine a man in
A
that
man in
position.
that position.
And it's not a man's mind that will do that. Even a woman's mind will do that. So I think we have seen a lot of stereotypical leadership that can rise only up to a certain level. And I think that it's not about breaking that glass ceiling as much, but it is also about creating your own space. And it's about owning up that space. Like, sometimes women feel that they cannot grow beyond that, and they would hesitate to even rise to that level. So I think that having that confidence and owning up that space is so important.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit about the motherhood side of things.
Hmm.
You're
Yeah.
you're a mom of two kids, and I still don't see you as mom of two kids. You're so fit and everything, and how how did things change from before the kids
Mhm.
and after the kids? Like how did your priorities change? Or the priorities didn't change at all?
Did not change at all.
Yeah.
And I think that that is one of the things that I would always love to share with women, that your personal life and your professional life, nothing is stopping each other. Like, sometimes women wait oh, once I achieve this much of a milestone in my career, then I will have kids. But your life doesn't end with kids. Like, in fact, it just adds value to
Yeah.
everything that you're already doing. After having kids also, I think nothing changed for me. I still worked as much. Of course, we made sure that one of us was always being present for the
Right.
kids. And we also want to make sure that we give them the right upbringing, we give them the right lessons. And I think one of the lessons that I taught them early on is independence. Like, just because I have kids, I don't have to leave everything and be the mother that they need, because I can be the mother while being someone else as well. While being the leader, while being the doctor, I can still be the mother. So I think that um, it is also a very important lesson for the kids to learn early on. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question though.
No, you certainly did, and I think me and you kind of sit on the same page as that. And I'll kind of just tie it in with our story and how we
Hmm.
planned our kids. I mean, they typically say that, oh, okay, well, nowadays everyone's so concerned that, oh, we're not there yet.
Yes.
Career wise, we're not there yet. But you will never be there.
Yeah.
I feel like you will never be there. And I think having kids and having a career going, that those two things has to go parallel,
Yes.
right? You can't stop one and keep continuing the other one, because I mean then your right age is left. Like,
Absolutely.
and then the more you take on,
Hmm.
then you have your life so stressful,
Yes.
right? So then all these factors
Hmm.
aren't going to help you in having kids that fast,
Yeah.
right? Because people think, oh yeah, once we have careers all sorted out, we'll just plan it one day and it was going to happen. Well, it doesn't happen that
It
way. It doesn't
no,
happen
it
that way.
doesn't happen that
And
way.
like I still feel like we were married. We got married 2017, and we had our daughter Gianna in 2021.
Hmm.
We planned her in 2022. She was born, but I still feel that 4 years was a bit too long for us.
Hmm.
And now that we can say it, and our parents were saying from the get go that, hey, let's have kids.
Hmm.
First, second year, have kids.
Yeah.
And now I do realize why they say the way they were saying it.
Yes.
Because up in our Gujarati culture, we always just like a chokra abnu nasib laina ave,
Yeah.
right? And that's so right.
It is so right.
It is so right.
Yeah.
Because you keep banging like, come on, man, the
Yeah.
career's not going. No, it's not going. It's not going.
Yeah.
But then, okay, well, why don't you have a kid?
Yeah.
You have a
And
kid, and then everything just kind of falls into place.
yeah.
And that's what happened with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very important. But I think, after my generation, uh, I don't even know what they're gonna be doing, to be very honest.
Yeah.
Because the way they're going, they're very straightforward. They're like, you know what? Nope, we're not gonna have kids.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen to anybody else. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I just feel like it shouldn't stop.
Yeah. No, it should not. And I think what you highlighted, I have a similar story where um, when I came from India as a doctor, like, they don't recognize that degree over here. I also did my fellowship in the US, but because they don't count my base medical degree, they will
Mhm.
not count my fellowship as well.
Mm.
So I had to study all over again, and I
Mhm.
had to go through certain licensing process and everything. So I came to Edmonton mainly because of that, because otherwise previously we were in Toronto. So when
Okay.
we came to Edmonton to pursue that process for me, that process got halted. Bureaucracy, politics, whatever you call it.
Mhm.
So when that process got halted, at that time my daughter was a year and a half old. And the first thing that, yes, I mean, it was a major setback. We were not even sure if I'm ever going to be able to practice medicine. So it
Mm.
was that stressful.
So even though you give sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off, but even you give your exams and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah. It was ઘણી બધી વસ્તુ, ઘણા બધા steps. Even after I cleared a few steps,
really?
after that also it was stopped, and it was
Oh,
2013 when I was not even sure if I'm ever going to be able to do
practice.
ophthalmology. They said that they will let me be a family doctor, but I don't know family medicine because I had already been practicing ophthalmology for a long time.
Right.
So I had to fight to become an ophthalmologist again here.
Wow.
So during that time, of course, the first thought is like, oh my God, now what am I going to do? So yes, you feel upset at that time. And then the first thing that came to our mind was like, okay, you know what? We'll figure this out. But we, anyways, wanted to plan a family. Like, we want to expand our family. We wanted to have a second child. Let's have a second child right now.
Mhm.
And because we didn't know how long it's going to take. Is it going to take 6 months? Is it going to take a year? But it was the right time. And I was very aware about my biological clock.
Mhm.
And I was always sure that I wanted a second child. So
Right.
we planned that, and we fought through the process, and that journey still continues. I mean, if I would have waited for them to
Get you
complete the
back in.
process,
Yeah.
then I would have waited another 5 7 years, and maybe even waited till now, right? Like, you never
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
I think that your listen to your body clock, and you have to work on your professional personal both lives together, because it is your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's perfect because you guys, I feel like you guys are what, early 40s?
Yeah.
I think Shranak by just turned 40, right?
Yeah.
And you guys have grown up kids,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you can drink all you want and crash or whatever. Quick little break, and we are back here again.
Mhm.
So we left off with making sure that the family goes on and the
Mhm.
career and the growth goes on at the same time,
Yes.
right? And I think it should always be that way, right? It should always be that way. And I think if you see a lot of successful people with kids and everything, I think it's also because of the mindset, right? I think the consultants that they might have, the
Mhm.
mentors that they might have. Do you think
Mhm.
the mentors would have that conversation that you should not let the career you should not be so career oriented that you forget about the family, or no?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't met anybody who has told me either ways.
Right.
But I think this is just me, and, like, my
Learnings.
mindset that this is life. It is not this or that. Life
Mm.
is a whole,
Yeah.
and you work on life. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So you had kids. Well, you had kids growing up when they were little, and you guys also had your careers kind of in
Mhm.
your infancy stage. From that point on, like, did you guys always have a set time for the family that at this time, no no distractions, just the four of us?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we did make sure that we are with the kids, like, meal times definitely is that. But every evening, like, between meal times or like after school and before bedtime, that is the time when none of us is working. There's no important meetings at that time. We make sure that we spend time that way.
Mhm.
But I would say that, again, as business owners, sometimes something urgent will always come up.
Mhm.
uh, the only time that I would say we really connect now as the kids are growing up also is travel. I think that I can completely switch off when I travel.
Mhm.
And when traveling, I think the things that I've heard my kids speak, or the expressions they make about what they notice, and how they observe the world, I think their point of view is something that I enjoy when we travel. So I think travel is what has given us those opportunities to come closer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like, do you constantly have any, like, now that your kids are getting older,
Mhm.
your daughter is 13, you said?
She's
13, 14.
13, yes.
Do
And
you get any feedback from her? Maybe you just when you're stuck
about
somewhere.
everything.
Oh, is that
About everything.
of course.
Yeah, I get a lot of feedback from both my kids. My son is 11, my daughter is 13, and I get a feedback about everything from what I'm wearing to how I should do my hair, to also in business, like, because I have always been that person. I will discuss everything about business with the kids too. I will just tell them, oh, this is what happened at work, and I'm contemplating whether I should do this or that, and they will always give me their feedback. And sometimes I will accept it, sometimes I will not accept it, and I will tell them why I did not do what they asked me to do.
Right.
So I think it is very healthy discussion that we have around that, and I think it also teaches them the decision making process, what all you have to evaluate in your minds when you're making a decision about certain things.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of that.
Okay. So when you say discuss about your businesses,
Hmm.
does the discussion also um, do you also share about the frustrations that you had the day?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, Not too much.
Not too
I
much.
would say that the frustrations I usually end up leaving at work. I don't even bring it home.
Right.
I usually try, even as a doctor, like normally doctors take work home. They have to write letters, or they have to, like, do the admin work at home. I make sure to finish everything between that 7 and 3. I don't take anything home, neither work nor the frustrations of the work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And when you say, like, do you think kids when they're traveling with you,
Mhm.
are they different with you when they're traveling versus when they're home? I think
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think they are different and we are also different, right? Because
Okay.
we are like 100% there
There.
24/7, like for 5 or 7, 10 days.
Right.
So we are also there constantly with our 100% attention with them.
Right.
And they are also different because they are out of their normal environment, which
Mm.
is like, otherwise school and homework and
Mm.
etc. So
Yeah.
we learn together, we write down goals together, we discuss where we have come till now. We discuss where we want to go. Um, Including them and us. Like, we all share our dreams, we all share our fears, we all share our ambitions. So we talk
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just recently saw. I was stalking Shauna Boy. I'm guilty,
Mhm.
but I think there was a video, or I think that was a photo that he shared with your son, obviously, and that he's gonna want to be a lawyer too now. I think that's something along those lines.
Mhm.
Is that right? Yeah. So,
Yeah. Again, boys, I don't
boys.
know. With him, things keep changing all the
Oh,
time.
is that right?
Like, my
Okay.
daughter is very sure what she wants to do, and there's like 3 or 4 different things that she wants to do. She's very sure about that, and that
Oh, okay.
hasn't changed over the last 10 years.
Right.
But for my son, it's like different things every year. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's a boy thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you say was the most valuable lesson that you've taught your kids, that they're so grounded and they're so connected with you guys? Because nowadays kids just
Hmm.
go in their room and
Hmm.
on their social media, God knows what they're doing. That's my one biggest
Yes.
fear.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would say, like, we don't give them devices much. Like, only now they have like a phone or an iPad to make sure that
Right.
we can stay in touch.
Yeah.
But otherwise, even those devices, they don't have social media apps. I don't have social media apps on my phone. Like I don't log on to my Facebook ever. I don't log on to my social media platforms more than 1 or 2 times in a month. So they see that too.
Hmm.
And I think there are many lessons that I like to teach them, and I think a lot they learn by example. Like kids learn more by what they see
Hmm.
more than what we teach them, right?
Right.
And that is something that I've only learned over a period of time, that you may say something but you do something else, and the kids will pick up on what you're doing. So you have to live the example, and I
Yeah.
think that is so important. So I think a few important lessons that I tell my kids is, again, just what I learned, that money is just a byproduct.
Mhm.
You find your purpose in life, like
Mhm.
what are you here to do? What are the things that you need to build? How do you need to grow as a person? So I think that is the most important thing. Second is abundance mindset, that there is enough for everyone in the world. Nobody's going to take away anything from you. If somebody wants something, give it. If
Mhm.
somebody is taking something away, let it go. um, when you give, God will give you what you deserve. So it's always something that like, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
is there. And again, things are things. um, Values, people, relationships, that is what matters more.
Yeah.
Things can be replaced. One breaks, you buy another one. It doesn't matter what you have. Things are always completely disposable. People are not. Relationships are not.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very beautiful. And I think it's very important. I think because આપણા જે ગુજરાતીમાં I'm gonna say a little bit in Gujarati as well. આપણા
Mhm.
ગુજરાતીમાં છે ને એક બહુ ખરાબ વસ્તુ એ છે કે people always see other person competing in their own field
Mhm.
and they tend to want to scout them down,
Mhm.
right? And competition, I feel,
Yeah.
my personal humble opinion, is the best,
Yeah.
right? And if I'm not able to do something and if
Mhm.
I'm in good terms with my competitors,
Mhm.
I'll always give my work to him
Yeah.
and vice versa,
Yeah.
right? And I think when the moment you have that, then you're giving back to the universe and it's multiplying and coming back to you in
Yeah.
multiple forms. I'm a big believer of that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think it takes a lot to get to that level, I
Mhm.
feel like.
Like આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં જ આપણે કહેવત છે ને કે તમારા નસીબમાં જે છે કોઈ નથી લઈ જવાનું.
Exactly.
It is like that.
Exactly. Because for example, I'll be selling whatever mediocre product that I may be selling, and other person is selling the same stuff, but it's
Mhm.
it's what I do and what
Mhm.
my karma is, and I think
Yes.
I'm a big believer of
Yeah.
that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think you have to, right? I mean, that's
Hmm.
just. Anyways, how involved is your husband in your success story?
Very much.
Yeah.
I would say that, like, they say that behind every successful man is a woman. I would say that behind every successful woman is a supportive husband or supportive man.
Right.
And I think I am so lucky that I did not have just my husband to support me. I think my grandfather, my father, they have always supported and encouraged me.
Mm.
And I would say that, I mean, sometimes in India,
Hmm.
in the 80s, like, girls did not have as much privilege as I did. I would
Hmm.
say that I was very lucky to be born in the family that I was born in.
Hmm.
I would say I had more freedom than what my brother did, just because I was the older one and the more responsible one.
Okay.
So I always had that. And I think one of the most important values for me is freedom. And when I met Shanak and when we started dating, I think that was also one of the things that I noticed, is that um, he doesn't want me to be anything else other than who I am.
Mm.
He wants me to achieve everything that I want to achieve. He doesn't want me to stop or pause um, or like, take on responsibility as a mother more, or take on responsibility in the kitchen more. ક્યારેક જમવાનું નહીં હોય ઘરમાં, તો he will be the one to cook. He'll be the one to say, okay, you go ahead and I'll take care of the kids. And he has been extremely supportive of me in every step of the way. And I think I attribute all my success to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful. Very nice. I mean, I think we should cut this section because about the cooking part. About the cooking part, because my wife would not like it so much because I can only cook stories and Maggie at the best.
It is still food at the end of the day. You can make
I
do with
guess
it
I
sometime.
guess so. I guess so. But I cook good stories, so I think I more than make up for
Okay.
it. That was Dr. Miral Mehta. As you've heard, she's an inspiration. I think inspiration is a very small word. I know she's constantly evolving. Um, she's a beautiful mother, very successful business owner, and yeah, just all around just a wonderful person. And thanks so much for you guys to be listening up until this point. If you've gotten here, if not, that's okay. I'm not judging anybody. But thanks so much, and for more and more informative podcasts like this, do follow, like, and share and subscribe to pransh-u-nfiltered. Until next time, keep going and keep hustling. Thank you.